All right. I'd like to call the March 20th, 2025 Police Commission meeting to order, 4:30 PM. Present are Commissioners Sullivan, Mills, Cantoli, I apologize, myself. Absent are Mayor DeStefano and Commissioner Rodriguez. So since the last time we met, welcome all commissioners and Gloria. Thank you. Since our last meeting, I did forward the commission a press release just recently. It was actually this past Monday in reference to an incident that happened on March 14th with Officer Trapini. Would the commission like to discuss that at all? Or we could discuss details later also?
Later, but yeah, a lot of reading.
Nah. The February Police Commission meeting minutes, I did forward to the commission. I put them in the Google Drive as well. If the commission had the opportunity to review them, if we could have a motion to accept them as written, or if there's any errors or omissions or concerns.
Good motion.
All in favor? Statistics for the month of February. So I'm just going to start out. They may not be 100% accurate because February 10th, we merged our records management system. So part of it is coming from our previous records management system and parts from our new records management system that we're still figuring out. So we're doing our best, but just as a caveat, they may get a little bit adjusted as we go forward. We're pretty confident in them, but there may be some slight adjustments with that. So for the month of February, the department handled 1,907 calls for service, which was a 16% decrease from the previous month of January, in which we had 2,271 calls. Our Part 1 crimes are more serious crimes. For the month of February, we investigated 24. Out of those, 7 in the violent category, 17 in the property category, and that was a 14% decrease from the previous month, in which we had 28 Part 1 crimes. Part 2 crimes for the month of February, the department investigated 88, which is a 30% decrease from the previous month of 126 in January. Arrests for the month of February, we made 110 arrests, which was a 34% decrease from the previous month in which we made 167. Traffic summons also decreased for the month, issued 62 in comparison to 181 in the previous month. Parking tickets, 582 were issued, which was a 28% increase from the previous months of 456. Total incidents that had some type of use of force attached for the month of February were 5, which equates to just over, it's about 4.5%. So some of the numbers came down significantly. I will caveat that with the fact of the new records management system. It is taking our members a little bit of time to navigate through it. It seems easy, but when they actually have to use it, it's a little more difficult. Just learning. It's like this week is so much better than we were 4 or 5 weeks ago. So they are progressing. We're starting to see the productivity pick up again, the vehicle stops and whatnot, now that they're comfortable with the system, getting comfortable with the system. They still have some room to go. And it's a county-wide system. It's a shared system. We're one of only 3 departments that are actually live right now with the system. So we are testing it at the same time, figuring out the bugs, the issues and concerns, and trying to work through them. So each week we make some adjustments, we learn a little bit, but the officers are actually getting much better with it as we progress.
I do have one
Yes, ma'am.
question about that. Is it possible, just, out there a little bit, is it possible that the 20 degrees kept people from misbehaving?
100%. But that's a piece of the equation, but I think that records management system has a bigger piece of it just because in the past, officers become comfortable with the system. They know when they write a ticket, they hit the tab 3 times, it goes to the next thing, and it just goes so fast. So initially when they're writing, like stopping a car to issue a summons or whatever, it was taking them 15, 20, 25 minutes longer than what it used to take, just navigating through it. So there is some reluctancy, there's some learning curve, which is still going to take place, but I do believe the weather, we do see that seasonally, the winter months does slow down somewhat, but I feel like that was a big difference, and I do believe a majority of that is that records management system. But we will work through it, because in the end run, it's a much better than what we had. So it's a good company. It's a recognized company. They provide tech support, which we didn't have with the old company. It's a shared database, so once everybody in the county's up and running on it, we'll be able to all be able to share the different incidents, be able to view, know that, such and such dealt with whomever in whatever municipality and see the history. It'll be much more robust and much more investigative friendly for us. So we look forward to that, but we have some time with that. The old system we had for almost 20 years. So that was, second nature to all of us, and now just learning, and like anything else, we get a new phone, it takes us a few minutes to figure it out, so.
So did the old system share with municipalities surrounding us, or was it just cloistered to ourselves?
So and it was supposed to, so the old system, when we first got it, the version 1 did not share. Version 2 and version 3 did share, and the idea was to progress, like version 2 was better than version 1, 3 was better than 2, obviously. Not all the departments chose to upgrade to version 3. So then you had some departments running on version 2, some on version 3. So we lost that shareability. The main reason though was that company was a Long Island-based company. It was Impact Records Management System. Got bought out by a company called Central Square. They got purchased as a competitor from what we understand. And like Central Square was just taking them off the market. So we lost all the tech support, all the service, everything with it. Which then spearheaded this whole push. This has been about a 5-year project, getting it off the ground and running. So in the long run, it's going to save us some money because we won't have to pay. We were paying, each department paid individually to Impact. Under the new niche system, which is a Canadian-based company, the county foots the bill.
Yeah.
So that'll be nice in the long run for us. But there are a lot of really nice features in it. It's just becoming comfortable with it and learning how to navigate through it. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Staffing. As we sit here today, there are 71 sworn personnel, which leaves us with 4 vacancies because we are budgeted for 2025 for 75. Out of the 71 sworn that I do currently have on the books, 3 of them are in field training. I have 1 out on long-term illness, and I have 2 that were deployed for National Guard to help with the prison system. Actually, 1 just came back last night, and we're notified today the other's coming back to us on Saturday. So that'll be good to get them both back. Since our last meeting, we did have the Police Academy graduation. So Police Officers Rivera and Diaz both graduated on March 7th. Great ceremony, and Officer Diaz actually was awarded the Physical Fitness Award for the Police Academy, so I know he was honored, and we're always honored to have our members receive awards. Additionally, since our last meeting, Officer Marcello Chasapanta left us. He resigned effective March 4th, and he took a job with the Peekskill Police Department, so I wish him well, and I hope that he has a safe and fulfilled career there. I've shared this in previous meetings with the commission. Police Officer Kelly Conklin has notified us that she will be leaving our department as well to take a job with the Dobbs Ferry Police Department. As of the other day, her anticipated end date with us would be March 25th, but that's still not set in stone, so she's been keeping us up to speed along her journey. And then next Thursday, Detective DeYoung will be retiring. It'll be his last day next Thursday with the department after a little over 20 years. He's retiring. He's going to come back and work for us part-time and do some downtown and patrols and bicycle patrols and whatnot. So I think that's a great thing. I mentioned it before. He'll be the first one that we've invested in for 20 plus years that wants to come back and still be part of the department. So I'm hoping that becomes a little bit more acceptable to our retired members to still be part of the organization, but a little bit more flexibility. Again, we invest in them for 20 plus years. It'd be great to have someone that we don't have to train and can still help us out. So I look forward to that. Our police officer exam is scheduled for May 3rd. We've been putting out some social media marketing, flyers. I have some of our team going to some of the colleges to do some outreach to ShopRite. Our digital sign right now is on Dulcin Avenue. We acquired a digital sign through a grant last year, and Lieutenant Tholen actually came up with the idea, why don't we advertise our test on it? So we've been moving it around every few days. Like last weekend, it was outside the home show at SUNY Orange. We figured a lot of volume coming through there. This week, it's on Dulcin Avenue by James P. Kelly Way. Just trying to use some technology and resources that we have to promote the test. As of the other day, we're about 70 applicants already filed. So I'm hoping that that grows. Traditionally, those couple of days before the cutoff day, which is March 30th, normally we get flooded with them. So
So what happened with the criminal justice teacher from Orange County that came and met with us? That was going to, about a year ago.
I don't remember that.
He wanted to bring students in and walk through, and
I don't remember, actually.
you have to go back and look through the minutes. but
Yeah,
he-
I don't remember.
He came, he met with us,
Yes, he
a
sat
couple
in the
of
audience,
students, yes.
yes. I don't know, actually.
he just kind of,
Go on, yes, I remember, he sat in the audience, he had some discussion about it. We're gonna get into the criminal justice, there's 3 classes, we spoke to one of the instructors, we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do the common area outside to just get some attention, which would be great. Also with that, we partnered with the Police Tutorial Service, they're gonna offer a prepped, cram course, a few weeks prior to the exam for anybody that would like to take it as well, which we like. Dispatcher Nicole Montetamaro has been with us a little over a year. She has just advised us that she'll be leaving us in April to become a police officer for the town of Crawford. So we're very excited and happy for her, and we wish her well. That obviously will give us a opening in our dispatch staff. We do have a current civil service list, and I did speak with civil service about getting a new test, which will be sometime next year. But with our current list, we are doing a background on a young lady, local here from the community, seems very interested in taking over the position. So we're hoping in a short window after Nicole leaves us that we'll be able to fill that spot. We are working with the Department of Civil Service for an agility test for the last group of eligible candidates off our current police exam. So that's scheduled for April 12th. We don't know how many people are going to show up. So maybe we get some good candidates out of it. We're being hopeful. And then I spoke with them also, and I mentioned this before, we're going to do the police exam every 2 years now instead of waiting so long and people go on to other jobs and other places. So I think it'd be better for all of us. And then just as a reminder, this evening is our department's award ceremony at the Mount Carmel Parish Center. Any discussion on staffing or anything? Since our last meeting, I'll just go through a list of training that the department participated in. Instructor development. We did another round of in-service training, which included workplace harassment, PPE, incident command setup, interviewing, and wound packing. We sent people to open source intelligence training, Strive orientation, which is our domestic violence grant. There's training associated with that. Breath analysis operator instructor, which is the data master for DWI. Juvenile law overview briefing training. Human trafficking and narcotics investigations. Alert instructor course, which is our active shooter response to any type of active threat. New York State Police Intelligence Summit. Incident command system instructor. Practical guidelines for motorcycle enforcement. Search strategies for missing autistic adults and children. I think that was it. I actually attended the New York State Intelligence Summit, and there were 2 speakers that were dynamite. One of them took me by surprise. Was a former school shooter. Would have never guessed that, ever. However, he went to prison. He's now on a speaking tour, sharing what led him to that event. And it's actually really interesting. Like, it was interesting to see him in that setting, but it was also interesting to hear what led him to that event. Very interesting. I would have never guessed I'd ever see something like that, but definitely interesting. Also, some new programs. I mentioned niche. We're working through that. We're getting more and more comfortable with it every day. Another thing that we just implemented this week, we did some testing with it and demoing with it back in January, but I purchased 10, they're language translators. They're a little tiny box that the officers could take in the field or use in the station, 144 different languages. So instead of calling a language line or trying to get someone to help translate, we purchased them. They're very reasonable price. They're less than $200 each. And now we have 10 of them to deploy throughout patrol to help with some of the language difficulties that we have. They do different dialects as well as different languages, which is, the officers are taking them, messing around with them, learning. So hopefully they're going to be useful. I know when we demoed them, we had positive feedback. That's why we ended up moving forward to purchase them. We actually bought a few extra that we're going to deploy throughout City Hall as well. Grants, the main grant that we're working on, we just submitted our final application, the end of last week, is the Strive grant, which is domestic violence. It's a statewide targeted reductions in intimate partner violence. And, it's a partnership grant. It's City of Middletown, City of Newburgh, Town of New Windsor, the Orange County District Attorney's Office, and Fearless, which is a domestic violence advocacy group. So the 5 partners were collaborating together to do an outreach program, and the whole ultimate goal is to reduce the number of repeat situations with intimate violence, domestic incidents. So we think we have a good plan. We submitted. We'll see what happens when the state reviews it and sends it back to us. But we'll be able to do some follow-up, have a full-time advocate in the building. I think it'll be a good start, and hopefully that money continues. It sounds like it's going to be at least for the next couple of years, and we should be looking at just about $100,000 in that grant. Our youth leadership program, our spring session kicked off on February 26th. We have 28 youth in that program, and Sergeant Welch does an amazing job with that. If you ever would like to participate, stop in to visit, see how it goes. Every Wednesday evening, they start about 3:30 at the Police Academy building, which is up by Parks and Rec. If you let me know, I could coordinate it, or you're more than welcome to stop in and see the kids. And then I will let you know when graduation is. It's a 12-week program. This is about, I think, our 6th session, and it grows and grows, and it's very nice. It's awesome to see the kids, and also the relationship that the officers build with the kids is amazing. So I did also forward the commission 4 internal investigations for review. I don't know if the commission's had the opportunity to review them. If you need more time, give them more time. That's up to you guys. If you're good. Would you like to discuss any of them specifically? Oh, okay. Any questions, concerns, thoughts, issues? Okay. Being no questions, discussion, thoughts, concerns, could I have a motion to accept those 4 as written? I have a motion by Commissioner Mills, second by
Second.
Cantoli. So just for the record, the 4 investigations that we're referencing are, all 4 are personnel complaints. One is from September 7th, 2023, and that was incident number 23-24704, and personnel complaint MPD II 14 of 23. It was a personnel complaint made by Gabrielle Giuliano alleging excessive force. Upon investigation, that claim was determined to be exonerated, meaning that the force that was used was appropriate given the circumstances. November 21, 2023, MPD II 16 of 23, personnel complaint made by Romaine Bain alleging harassment. Upon investigation, that complaint was determined to be exonerated. And then December 4th, 2023, incident number 23-32684, personnel complaint MPD II 21 of 23, personnel complaint made by Jacqueline Contreras alleging unnecessary force. Upon investigation, determined to be exonerated, as well as we also identified a training issue in that's been addressed also with a young new cop. On the 4th one is September 29th, 2024, pertaining to 2 separate incidents, 24-25074 and 24-28993. Personnel complaint is MPD II 005 of 24. Personnel complaint made by Anna and Daniel Jamal alleging harassment and excessive force. Upon investigation, determined to be unfounded. I should have a meeting set up for next Friday with Ms. Jamal to discuss the outcome of that situation. And other than that, I have nothing for the public comment, but I do have some stuff to discuss personnel matters with the commission that I'd request that we move to executive session to discuss those personnel matters. Unless the commission has anything you would like to discuss prior to such, or would you like to address anything, Gloria?
I wanted to say that I think that digital sign that you have here on the corner, I saw the one on Dawson Avenue.
Yep.
But could they have some, I know this is mostly for downtown area,
Mm-hmm.
for what's going on, but I think that should be digital instead of being just the letters and the numbers, so then we can see what's going on.
So that is not my sign. That is the bid district sign that is operated by Maria Bruni.
Oh, okay.
So if you would like to have
There has been discussion.
I know there has.
It has been mentioned before, but
Yeah, but by all means, please reach out to her, shoot her an email.
because everybody else in the area that you go to have digital signs, and we have that plain Jane one down there. It's kind of antique.
Nostalgic. That's nostalgic, you know? It's a great idea.
Get up with the program, you know?
Can't get hacked, can it?
No. I can mention it to Maria when I see her, but by all means, if you see her,
Yeah, I run into her. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But, and then there was another thing.
what's the other thing?
You said you're short like 7 offices with people leaving, coming back and stuff like that?
Currently, right now, I have 4 vacancies. I have some people that are either in training or out for stuff, so that does reduce the manpower.
And then you said people were leaving,
I have some people leaving, yes.
so you'd be real short.
Yep, but we have a pool of candidates. We're giving another exam, and we'll work through that.
That's a lot of overtime.
No. You wanna come back to work?
Nah, that correction already called some retirees. And
Did they really?
Hell no.
I bet you're happy to be out of there now, right?
At this time, I would not be able to survive.
I bet you could.
Nah.
We adapt and overcome, right?
When you become older, you know, your patience shrinks.
Uh,
So you can't put up with so much BS. Unfortunately.
well, thank you for that.
Anyway, that's what I wanted to mention. too.
Okay,
I'm trying to think what else. There was 2 or 3, but I didn't want to interrupt because you were on the road.
all right. I try to give you as much information as I can in a small window of time.
Yep, and then I guess I gotta go because
Yeah, we'll go into executive session. If I could have a motion to go into executive session. Motion by Commissioner Mills, second by Commissioner Sullivan, to move into executive session for the purpose of discussing personnel matters. We'll be moving into executive session at 4:52 PM.
Please be advised this ends the public portion of today's meeting. Thank you.